One of the hardest lessons I've had to learn is that you can't change people. No matter how much you care, no matter how much potential you see in a person, or how much you prove your worth to a person, if somebody doesn't want to change, they won't. And that hurts. So, like, what does that have to do with acceptance? You can't change people. People have to change themselves. If someone truly wants change in their life, they have to do it by themselves. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. All you can do is guide people. You can provide resources for people, but you can't actually make them change things. And it sucks. In relationships, we have to choose whether to just accept people as they are, whether or not they want to change, or to remove them from our lives. And it sounds extreme, so I'm gonna provide some examples. But yeah, like if people want change, they have to do it themselves. And it's shitty, but at the end of the day, you have to prioritize yourself over other people. And this is why the relationships you have matter. It's why the people you choose to associate yourself with matter. Because if you don't want to deal with people who don't want to change themselves, then maybe you should reconsider that relationship in your life. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's true and it sucks. So let's break this into different like kinds of relationships so it makes more sense. So for family members, you're much more likely to take them as they are. Look, matter like pretty much no matter what flaws they have because they're family. I would say that applies probably more towards immediate family than extended family, unless you're like really close to cousins or extended family like that. But this usually applies to siblings and parents. But with family, unless they are abusive, you usually just accept them as they are and ignore their bad qualities. Like, if you have a racist grandparent, but generally, you're not going to like the fact that they're racist. But for all the other reasons that, like, they're your grandparent and, like, say they could be great in, like, many other ways, you love them for all their good reasons. But you just kind of ignore the bad ones because they're your grandparent. But if they were just some, like, random racist old person, you're probably not going to tolerate it because you have no reason to. For friends and partners, it depends on what qualities they have that you're willing to overlook. Like if someone chews loudly, like that's not a reason to cut somebody off. But if somebody doesn't share, like say they don't share like a human rights, kind of point of view as you, like they think that some people shouldn't have rights, that's a bigger thing, and you shouldn't surround yourself with those kinds of people if you don't agree with what they think. Is my opinion on that at least. So depending on what qualities they have, you can choose to overlook them and accept the person as they are or move on and find different people because the truth is people who align with your views do exist. So choose the people in your life carefully because they should be people you want to have around. If you find yourself annoyed by people or disgusted by the things that they say, like you shouldn't surround yourself with them. Like, and some people will be like, "Well, that's common sense," but some people they're too afraid to move on and let go. And I think you have to be ready to do that to elevate yourself as a person. Like you want to surround yourself around good people. And like good people is a subjective term. I'm not saying good people as in I see them. I'm saying good people as in people who seem good to you. Like what you think are good people. This is you personally. I'm saying what I think, but at the end of the day, this is really about you. This isn't about me. I could share stories and experiences, but I want this message to really make you think about you. Like, understand the words I'm saying, but don't apply them to what I'm, like, my situations if I'm giving them. Apply them to your own, and then decide, like, if people are worth keeping around, if you're surrounding yourself around the right kind of people, like that kind of thing. What can you do when people refuse to change? The truth is, you can't force people into your perspective. You can't make people have your beliefs, and we all deserve free will, and we all have it. Whether that's for better or for worse is your prerogative. That being said, if you want someone to agree with what you have to say, or someone who you feel like aligns with your aspirations and goals, you have to go find them. You can't make people into like your perfect person. You can't, they're not dolls. People are humans. You know what I mean? Like we all have free will. We all want our own things. You can't fit a square peg into a round hole. It'll never work. You can't force people into this image that you have of them. If you make up an image for a person and they don't meet that image, That's not their fault. You either accept them as they are, or you find somebody who fits this image of a person that you want to be around. And I keep saying that because this doesn't just apply to family members or relationships. It applies to friends. It applies to all these kinds of relationships. It applies to everything. Like, obviously, some situations you can't control, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about situations in your control. Sometimes in life, friendships fade, not because you dislike each other, but because you just grow apart. There's nothing wrong with that. Some friendships just aren't made to last. That being said, the opposite is also true. The greatest friendships, they, they withstand the test of time. Like, I promise you that. Not every person is as they seem. Some people will throw you away like you mean nothing to them after you've known them for 10 years. Like, we've all heard stories of, like, someone's best friend marrying, like, some guy's girlfriend, and, like, they've been friends for, like, 15 years. Like, that can happen. But I can also tell you that you can meet somebody who you just meet, and they can throw everything away to help you in a time of need. And they can only know you for, like, a month. I can't guarantee that everyone is like this, or like the opposite of that. Like, not everyone's bad, not everyone's good. But I can guarantee you that good people do exist. People who will help you when you like genuine people do exist. There's a quote that I heard recently that changed my perspective in life, and it helped me a lot because mentally, life's been kind of rough. Like, I have friends, but I feel like I'm in a really lonely time in my life, and I feel like something's missing, and I'm really not sure what. But the quote is, "The world has good people in it, but if you can't find a good person, become one." And if everyone lived by this quote, the world would be filled with so many good people. So it would, I've changed the way I carry myself, and I will continue to be good people until I meet more good people. And I will only surround myself around, like these good people. I mean, obviously, the people in my control. Like, I'm talking about, like, your friends, the family you choose to talk to the most, even the people you decide. If you have a crush, I can't really say anything about that, but I would say make sure you choose people with your heart wisely. Like, if you know somebody's not good for you, don't don't do it. You're gonna regret it. At the end of the day, people are going to make their own choices. Sometimes they'll choose what you told them to do, like what you think is best for them, and sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll do what they think is best for them. And as much as it hurts, that's their right. Like, they have free will. They're allowed to do that. You can't change people. You can only decide whether to accept them as they are or move on. That's acceptance. That's what it really means to accept somebody. And how much you're willing to accept of a person is your prerogative. Like, if somebody just isn't what you want them to be, then and you want to fight them all the time, you're not really accepting them. If you truly want to accept somebody, you need to accept them for all the good and all the bad. For everything that comes with that person. You can't just accept parts of people. It has to be the whole package. That's true acceptance. And if you don't feel like you want to accept somebody like that, then maybe you should move on. That's my opinion, at least. I think that's enough for this video, though. I think I've done enough ranting. So thank you for listening. Next week, I think we'll talk about forgiveness and why it's important to forgive, why everyone deserves forgiveness. It's things like that. I just want to make it clear too. Like, what I talk about is very situational. Like, don't take it as black or white. It's very far from that. It's very much like, listen to what I'm saying, but then think about your own situation. And unless it's very clear cut and it's obvious that you should pick one or the other, don't just be so quick to make a decision. Really think about it. Really have some time. Maybe even think to, like, talk about it to people that if you have people you could talk to people. And if you don't have somebody to talk to, I don't even know. Maybe, like, but if you enjoyed the video, you can like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a good week. Thank you.